Hello and welcome back to Biz and Bucks. A troubling shift is currently unfolding within the auto industry, one that's drawing the attention of car market analysts and enthusiasts alike. Unlike the typical headlines seen in the past, warnings about impending crashes and market adjustments, the situation now appears far more dire, with some indicators pointing toward a major crisis on the horizon. What seemed like clickbait titles, warnings of impending dooms, now reflected genuine concern, grounded in undeniable data and trends that suggest serious instability within the car market. It is well known that the pandemic wreaked havoc on the economy, including the auto industry. The pandemic disrupted supply chains, and the subsequent government stimulus packages flooded the economy with cash, with low interest rates pushed to people who make purchases they might otherwise have delayed. As a result, used car prices soared to levels previously thought unimaginable, and now cars vanished off dealership lots as quickly as they were made. This strange surge in demand for vehicles came during a time when production was severely hampered. To illustrate the absurdity of the situation, consider the example of a 2015 Toyota Corolla. In 2020, during the height of the pandemic, a 5-year-old Corolla could be purchased for around $11,000. By the end of 2020, as the market went into overdrive, the market of that same 2015 Corolla skyrocketed to around $16,000, nearly a 50% increase in value in just a few months. This was not an isolated incident. It was a widespread phenomenon. People were willing to pay exorbitant prices for used cars, and new vehicles became impossible to find at dealerships. Fast forward to 2024, and while the market has corrected itself somewhat, the prices of vehicles remains inflated compared to what they were before the pandemic. A 2015 Corolla today is nearly almost 10 years old and still costs more than it did in 2020. The market is still dealing with the fallout of the pandemic frenzy. However, the situation has taken a turn for the worse, as interest rates have risen. For example, the typical car loan rate, which was 3.58% in December 2021, nearly doubled to 7.9% in January 2024. The sharp increase in rates had made it even more difficult for buyers to afford both new and used cars. The most alarming development in this situation is the increase in car loan delinquencies, a sign that consumers are struggling to keep up with payments. According to the Federal Reserve, the percentage of car loan balances that are at least 30 days overdue is at the highest level it has been since the Great Recession in 2007. This suggests that people are increasingly unable to meet their financial obligations as the monthly payments on cars continue to rise, stretching already tight household budgets to their limits. The affordability crisis not only is affecting individual consumers, but is also taking a toll on major automotive manufacturers. One of the most notable examples is Stellantis, the parent company of well-known brands like Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. Stellantis has seen its stock price plummet by a staggering 40% in 2024, and the company has been grappling with the fallout from the slowdown in car sales. The company is also facing major challenges with its inventory levels, which have reached unsustainable levels. The situation is so dire that rumors of bankruptcy are circulating, further signaling the fragility of the auto market. The company's struggles have been compounded by the fact that its cars are sitting on lots for extended periods. For instance, the Ram 2500 pickup truck, one of Stellantis' major models, is taking more than 460 days to sell, far exceeding the industry average of 60 to 70 days. This backlog of unsold vehicles is taking a significant toll on the company's finances as inventory continues to build up and weigh heavily on the balance sheet. Stellantis is far from the only automaker in trouble. Ford, another major player in the auto industry, has seen its stock drop by 59% from its peak in 2022. Toyota, a company that has long been known for its relatability and brand strength, has also experienced a 30% decline in stock price since March 2024. Volkswagen, the German automaker, has fared even worse, with its stock crashing by 75% from its 2021 high. The auto industry as a whole is clearly in turmoil, with only a few companies showing any signs of stability in an otherwise collapsing market. In a candid interview with Bloomberg in August 2024, Carlos Tavares, the former CEO of Stellantis, painted a grim picture of the car market future. Tavares did not mince words, acknowledging that the industry was facing intense pressure. He made it clear that the days of rapid growth were over and that automakers would need to make difficult decisions to survive. Tavares also mentioned the possibility of cutting certain brands or spinning them off, signaling the significant changes that are likely to happen as the markets continue to deteriorate. His words were a stark reminder of the storm clouds gathering over the auto industry, and his resignation as CEO in the wake of these comments underscored just how serious the situation is. The financial struggles of these companies are directly related to the affordability crisis facing consumers. As car payments continue to rise, fewer and fewer people are able to afford new or used vehicles. According to Experian, a staggering 80% of new car buyers and 36% of used car buyers rely on financing to make their purchases. However, as interest rates rise, the monthly payments on these loans have become increasingly difficult to manage. In Q2 of 2024, the average monthly payment for a new car hit $734, while the average monthly payment for a used car reached $525. In some states, such as Texas, nearly 7% of car buyers are paying over $11,000 a month for their vehicles, an amount that rivals a mortgage payment. This shift has turned cars into financial burdens rather than assets. Buyers who were once able to afford car payments are now struggling to keep up with escalating costs, and in many cases, they are facing repossession. This has created a dangerous cycle, as delinquency rates rise and consumers become increasingly burdened by car loans. The rise in car loan delinquency is a direct reflection of the broader economic pressures that are being felt throughout the country. Interest rates are at the highest levels in years, and wages are failing to keep up with the increasing cost of living. Consumers are finding it more difficult to make ends meet, and car payments are increasingly becoming insurmountable hurdles. Despite the rising delinquencies and the struggles of major automakers, there is little hope for an immediate turnaround. While some industry analysts have suggested the stock market will eventually stabilize, the underlying issue, like high interest rates, low supply, and rising car prices, are likely to persist for the foreseeable future. With the auto industry facing a crisis of this magnitude, it's becoming increasingly clear that we're on the brink of a major market correction, one that could have far-reaching consequences for both consumers and the companies that rely on cars' sales for their survival. The data points a stark picture of the industry in decline, and warnings for industry leaders are becoming more frequent and more dire. The cracks in these foundations of the car market are becoming impossible to ignore, and it seems only a matter of time before the whole structure collapses. With the rapid rise in car loan delinquencies, the skyrocketing cost of car payments, and the stock prices plummeting of major automakers, the stage is set for a major shakeup in the auto industry. The only question that remains now is how this collapse will occur and how far-reaching its effects will be. As the market continues to adjust, though, it is clear that the days of easy car loans, cheap interest rates, and inflated vehicle prices are behind us. What comes next will be a painful adjustment, as both consumers and companies struggle to find a new equilibrium in a rapidly changing economic landscape. The car market, once a symbol of prosperity and growth, is now a warning sign for the broader economy. The cracks in the system are already visible, and it's only a matter of time before the entire structure begins to crumble. How will the market adjust and how will companies adapt remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. The auto industry is facing a crisis, and it may be a long time before things finally return to normal.